Rajab and Arif were childhood friends. Rajib gave money to Arif in the business so that both of them could grow together. But Arif took advantage of the friendship, took the money, and disappeared. Rajab persevered, but the fire of revenge continued to burn in his heart. Many years later, when Arif's business sank, Rajib bought all of Arif's business by giving money to his enemy. Arif folded his hands and said, "Remember friendship." Raj smiled. "You sold your friendship. I'm just doing the math." Salman gave a loan of Rs 2 lakh to his close friend Nadeem. Nadeem promised that he would return it soon. But over time, he not only refused to give the money, but also started misbehaving with Salman. Salman remained silent. After some time, Nadeem was caught in a case, and Salman became a witness. In the court, Salman told the truth, and the result was that Nadeem not only had to return the money, but also his honor was in the dust. Farhan and Junaid were close friends in college. Farhan had put his life savings to build a house. Junaid showed cunningness and grabbed the money by breaking Farhan's trust. Farhan remained silent, but a storm of revenge hid in his heart. 3 years later, luck turned. Farhan became the finance head of a large company. He deliberately got Junaid a job in his company and then collected all the evidence against him and sent him to jail for fraud. Farhan wrote in his diary, "Friends who cheat in the greed of money always fall into disgrace." Some time passed. Arif's property and shops were all in Rajab's possession. Now Arif started walking in the street neighborhoods with empty hands, facing the taunts of the people. The person who once despised others, today he is in need of a piece of honor. One day, Arif got tired and stood in front of Rajab's office. The guards at the door wanted to stop, but Rajab pointed out, "He's an old friend of mine." Arif came in and sat down on the bench. After a long silence, he said, "Rajab, I believe I have deceived you. I shed the blood of friendship. We've lost everything today. If you want, humiliate me forever, but give me a chance to correct my mistake." Rajab looked at his face carefully, then said, "I have punished you, but I do not want to keep revenge in my heart forever. You have learned the lesson of life. Now, if you really want to repent, work hard, and I will give you work. But remember one thing, there will never be a repeat." Arif had tears in his eyes. He shook his head and said, "Thank you, Rajib. I will not waste another chance." After that day, Arif started small-scale work. The hard work taught him humility. Rajab looked at him from a distance and thought, "Revenge comforted me, but forgiveness deepened my heart. That's the real win." Some years have passed. Arif did not miss the opportunity given by Rajab. He worked hard day and night, doing small tasks, and slowly got back on his feet. He was no longer the same man who had once been steeped in pride and greed, but humility and gratitude had become his hallmark. One day he came to Rajab, this time not with pride in his eyes, but with confidence and calm. "Rajab, I have tried to justify your pardon. Today I have a small business, which is being run by hard work. I have not come to ask you for another loan, but to return the money that broke our friendship." Arif put forward a bag. Rajib looked at him in surprise and said, "This is the money you took years ago. Why are you returning it now? I've forgotten when." Tears flowed from Arif's eyes. "I haven't forgotten. This money was the memory of my shame. Until he returns, the burden of the heart will not lighten." The king was silent. He turned back to Arif and said, "This is not your money. You have made them sweat. They have the fragrance of repentance and hard work. Take it and remember, real wealth is trust, which once broken, does not easily connect." Arif took back the bag with trembling hands and cried, "Rajab, today you are not only my friend but also my teacher." After that day, the old friendship between the two never returned, but a new relationship was born. A relationship learned by trust, which was forgiven after revenge and then forgiven. Time went by. Arif started living his life with hard work and honesty. Now he helps others instead of deceiving them. He always had these words in his mouth: "Deception gives temporary peace, but it brings everlasting destruction." Rajib also began to look at his life with a new eye. Vengeance had comforted him, but forgiveness had enlarged his heart to a level that was not found in any other wealth in the world. He was now known to be gentle and compassionate with others. One day, a few young men from the neighborhood came to Rajab, arguing. Everyone was accusing each other of cheating. Rajab sat down all of them and said, "I have also cheated in my life and taken revenge. But the truth is that real success doesn't come from revenge, but from forgiveness and hard work. If you lose faith, you lose everything." The young men were silent. Arif was also standing nearby. He said in front of everyone, "I am witness to it. I once betrayed Rajib, but today his forgiveness has made me a human being. If I didn't, I might still be lost today." All the youths shook hands with each other and promised that they would never betray anyone. Rajab thanked him in his heart and thought, "This is the real revenge, to save others from being deceived by making deception a lesson." Thus, the story of Rajib and Arif did not end, but became a tower of light for others, who forgave others even after being deceived and showed them the right path. Arif has also changed. He lived among the people with dignity and trust. Whenever someone asked him how his life was, he would only say one sentence: "My friend Rajab forgave me and gave me life. Otherwise, I would have been ruined forever." One day, Rajab fell ill and fell on the bed. His friends, relatives, and neighbors came to see him. Arif used to sit beside him every day, pressing his feet and saying with tears in his eyes, "Rajab, you have restored to me the honor that I had lost with my own hands. If my head is high today, it's all because of you." Rajib said in a low voice, "Arif, remember, money can come back, property can come back, but once trust is broken, it is difficult to repair it. I forgive you so that you can be a support to others, not a burden." After a few days, Rajab left this world, but his memory and truth will live on in the hearts of the people. Arif stood at his grave and said, "Friend, you did not win me over by vengeance, but by forgiveness. This was your true perfection, and this is your true inheritance." Thus, the story of Rajab and Arif came to an end. A story that began with betrayal, went through revenge, reached forgiveness, and finally left a lesson for people. The real capital of friendship is trust, and the real victory of life is in forgiveness. After Rajab left, there was a feeling of emptiness in the entire neighborhood. His soft-spokenness, fairness, and teaching people patience were remembered by all. After his death, Arif vowed that he would follow Rajab's footsteps for the rest of his life. Arif made honesty the basis of his business. He would sit the youth next to him and tell them his story of how he had betrayed a friend at one time and how forgiveness made him human again. The young men were impressed by his words and promised never to cheat. Over time, Arif became a teacher-like figure. People came to him for judgment because they knew that this man would now speak only of justice and truth. One day, a young man said to him, "Uncle Arif, your story changed my life. Today, if I have been saved from betraying my friend, it is because of your advice." Arif had tears in his eyes. He looked at the sky and said in his heart, "Rajab, your vengeance and your forgiveness became a beacon for me. What you taught me, I'm teaching others today." Thus, Rajab's life did not end. His story continued to progress through Arif and then through the new generation. The real conclusion is that deception can give temporary victory, but true success is always in truth. forgiveness, and trust. Time went on. Arif had adapted his life to the lessons given by Rajab. Now he was not just a businessman, but a leader for others. But the seventh turning point came when he had a test in his life. Arif's son became young and began to engage in business. At first, everything was fine, but soon Arif realized that his son was getting intoxicated with wealth and glory. He would be rude to others, and one day he cheated on an old friend. Seeing this scene, the ground came out under Arif's feet. He remembered the story of his youth, when he himself had betrayed Rajab. I was hoping that history would not repeat itself. That night, Arif sat next to his son and said, "Son, if you sell friendship and trust to play with money, then know that your end will be the same as mine. I wasted my life, but a friend's forgiveness saved me. Your support will not be a king. You have to change yourself." The son laughed at first, but when he saw the tears flowing from his father's eyes, his heart hurt. He was embarrassed and said, "I promise I won't cheat anyone. I have seen the pain in your eyes today that you have suffered years ago." Arif expressed his gratitude and said, "Rajab, the lesson given by you is now saving my generation too. Your light is still alive today." Thus the story took a new turn. Now it became a trust passed from one generation to another, not just of two friends. Betrayal is waste, forgiveness is life, and trust is the greatest wealth. Time took another turn. Now Arif was also on the threshold of old age. His son took care of himself as promised and ran the business honestly. But the test never ends. One day, a new person came to the neighborhood who started showing dreams of wealth and quick success to the youth. He tells them all, "Honesty is the weapon of the weak. The strong is the one who takes advantage of the opportunity." Hearing this, Arif's heart was hurt. He saw his old shadow, the same mistakes, the same greed. He brought the youth together and narrated the entire story of his life, how he betrayed Rajib, how he lost everything. Then forgiveness brought him back to life, and finally, trust made his life better. The young men were amazed. One said, "Uncle Arif, after listening to your story, we feel that deception is a game of time, but its end is always a disaster. We will not come to the words of this newcomer." Arif smiled and looked at the sky and said, "Rajab, your vengeance was over one day, but the light of your forgiveness is now saving generations." That night, Arif saw Rajab in a dream. Raj smiled and said, "Friend, you have not forgotten my lesson. You are now a beacon of light. That's the real win." When Arif woke up, there was peace in his eyes. He felt that his life's journey was complete. Now he will live in the hearts of others like Rajib himself. The story ends with this message: betrayal is temporary, vengeance is temporary, but forgiveness and faithfulness live forever in our hearts.